Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Have you ever wondered, is this reality truly real? Or is it all just an illusion? Deep inside the Buddhist teachings lies a truth that can completely transform the way you perceive the world. The truth of emptiness. Neither nihilism nor a fixed existence. Emptiness is the profound nature of all things, where every form arises and dissolves through the ever-changing flow of causes and conditions. If you truly understand emptiness, you will no longer be bound by suffering, nor attached to the self or the world around you. Let us embark on a journey to uncover this great mystery, the path to transcendent wisdom and ultimate liberation. Emptiness. Could it change your life? Emptiness in Buddhism. The foundation of liberating wisdom. Emptiness, Sanskrit Śūnyatā, Pali Sunyata, is one of the core concepts of Buddhism, especially in the Mahāyāna and Vajrayāna traditions. It is not only a profound philosophical idea, but also the foundation of liberating wisdom. This essay will explore the nature of emptiness, clarify the differences in its interpretation among Buddhist schools, and analyze its practical significance in spiritual practice. The concept of emptiness does not mean nothingness or non-existence. Instead, it refers to the absence of inherent existence, svabhava. According to Buddhist teachings, all phenomena arise due to dependent origination, pratya samutpada. They do not possess an independent, permanent essence. Emptiness reflects the truth that everything exists based on interdependent interactions rather than intrinsic nature. To better understand this, consider the following examples. The example of a car. A car is merely a combination of various parts: wheels, an engine, a chassis, seats, and so on. None of these individual components by itself is the car. If we disassemble all the parts, the car ceases to exist as an independent entity. This demonstrates that the car is merely a dependent aggregation, without a fixed essence. The example of a person. When we say I, we often assume a fixed identity. However, upon closer examination, a person is merely the combination of the 5 aggregates: skandhas, form, body, feeling, sensations, perception, thoughts and imagination, mental formations, habits and volition, and consciousness, awareness. There is no independent entity called I beyond these components. As a person ages, their thoughts, emotions, and physical form change, showing that the self is not a permanent entity. The example of a cloud. A cloud forms when water vapor rises from the ocean, lakes, and rivers, then condenses in cooler temperatures. Under the right conditions, it turns into rain, snow, or mist. Does the cloud exist as a fixed entity? No, because it is merely a temporary phase in nature's continuous transformation. Because everything exists only through conditions and causes, nothing has an independent fixed essence. This is the essence of emptiness. Furthermore, emptiness also implies that all concepts and definitions created by the human mind are merely mental constructs. For example, a cup is considered a cup when it holds water, but if it shatters into pieces, we no longer call it a cup. This illustrates that names and identities are relative and dependent on circumstances. Emptiness does not deny existence, but asserts that existence lacks a fixed inherent essence. By realizing this truth, practitioners can let go of attachments, free themselves from the notions of self and ownership, and ultimately attain liberation. 2. Emptiness in different Buddhist branches. Emptiness in Theravāda Buddhism. In early Buddhist scriptures, emptiness is understood in terms of non-self, anatta, the absence of an enduring self or soul. The Buddha taught that the 5 aggregates, khandhas, form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness, are impermanent and lack an inherent self. When a practitioner realizes this, they no longer cling to themselves or the world, thereby attaining liberation. Another significant aspect of emptiness in Theravāda Buddhism is its application in meditation. In the Śūnyatā Samyutta Nikāya 3585, the Buddha explained that practitioners can realize emptiness through mindfulness and insight into phenomena, contemplation of the body. The practitioner sees that the body is merely a combination of the four elements, earth, water, fire, and air, and that there is no real self within it. Contemplation of feelings. The practitioner realizes that all sensations, whether pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, arise and pass away, having no fixed essence. Contemplation of the mind and thoughts. The practitioner observes that consciousness is constantly changing and that no permanent self exists within it. A concrete example. To illustrate this concept, the example of a house. A house has no inherent existence. It is merely an assembly of wood, cement, bricks, and iron. When these elements change, e.g., wood rots, walls collapse, the house also changes. There is no permanent entity that can be called a house. From a practical perspective, understanding emptiness in Theravāda Buddhism helps practitioners let go of attachment. By realizing that there is no true self, one naturally reduces craving and aversion. Be free from suffering. Since all phenomena are impermanent and lack intrinsic nature, suffering itself is not inherently fixed, allowing one to let go of it. Attain nirvana. When one no longer clings to self or mine, they can achieve complete liberation, free from the cycle of birth and death. Thus, emptiness in Theravāda. Buddhism is not merely a philosophical concept, but a practical method that enables practitioners to perceive the true nature of body, mind, and the world, ultimately leading to perfect liberation. Emptiness in Mahāyāna. Madhyamaka, middle way, Nagarjuna, one of the greatest Mahāyāna philosophers, developed the Madhyamaka middle way school, offering a more radical explanation of emptiness. He argued that all phenomena are devoid of inherent nature, svabhava, including nirvana itself, which is not an independently existing reality. This teaching dismantles both eternalism, the belief in fixed existence, and nihilism, the belief in absolute non-existence, guiding practitioners toward the realization of prajna, transcendent wisdom. Emptiness in Madhyamaka, according to Nagarjuna. The example of a rope and a snake. Imagine walking in the dark and seeing a long object on the ground. You mistake it for a snake and feel fear. However, when you shine a light on it, you realize it is just a rope. From the Madhyamaka perspective, the snake has no intrinsic existence, svabhava. It was merely a projection of the mind. Similarly, all phenomena are merely labels and conceptual, constructs without fixed essence. The example of a wave and the ocean. A wave may appear to be an independent entity, but it does not exist on its own. It is merely a movement of the ocean. Without water, wind, and the right conditions, a wave cannot form. Madhyamaka teaches that all phenomena are like this, temporary manifestations without self-existence. The example of a potter and a clay pot. A clay pot is made from clay, but the clay itself is not inherently a pot. When shaped by a potter, it temporarily takes the form of a pot. If broken, it becomes shards and is no longer called a pot. Madhyamaka uses this analogy to show that the pot has no intrinsic nature. It exists only due to conditions and causes. The example of a table. When we see a table, we assume that the table truly exists. However, if we analyze it, we see that it is just an assembly of wood, nails, glue, and other materials. If dismantled, there is no longer anything that can be called a table. Madhyamaka emphasizes that the existence of the table is merely a temporary designation, not a fixed reality. The example of a dream. In a dream, one might travel, meet friends, or encounter danger. During the dream, everything seems real. But upon waking, one realizes it was just an illusion. Madhyamaka uses this analogy to illustrate that the world we experience is also like a dream, lacking an independent, fixed nature, existing only due to interdependent conditions. These examples illustrate that, according to Madhyamaka, all things lack inherent existence and arise only through dependent origination. By understanding this, practitioners no longer cling to mistaken notions of self or real existence, thereby attaining prajna wisdom and liberation from suffering. C. Emptiness in Yogacara. The Yogacara school, founded by the masters Asanga and Vasubandhu, develops the concept of emptiness with a unique approach. According to Yogacara, all phenomena that we perceive do not objectively exist outside of us. Rather, they are merely manifestations of consciousness. One of the key doctrines of Yogacara is the three natures of phenomena, Trisvabhava. Imagined nature, Parikalpita Svabhava. This refers to mistaken perceptions created by the mind, such as seeing a rope in the dark and mistaking it for a snake. The world as we commonly perceive it is the result of this type of cognition. Other-dependent nature, Paratantra Svabhava. This represents phenomena that exist dependently on causes and conditions, such as a wave, which cannot exist independently, but arises due to wind and water. Perfected nature, Parinispana Svabhava. This is the ultimate reality of all phenomena, the absolute truth realized when one attains direct insight into emptiness. Illustrative examples. Dream analogy. When we dream, we may find ourselves flying, fighting, or meeting deceased loved ones. Upon waking, we realize that everything in the dream was created by our mind. According to Yogacara, the world we experience is also like a dream. It is merely a projection of consciousness and lacks an independent external reality. Water and waves analogy. Water can take the form of waves, but its essence remains water. Similarly, all phenomena we perceive are simply transformations of consciousness, with no inherent existence of their own. Thus, according to Yogacara, emptiness is not merely the absence of intrinsic existence, but also the realization that all phenomena arise as a projection of consciousness. When a practitioner fully understands this, they are no longer deceived by delusions and can attain true enlightenment. Emptiness in Vajrayāna, a branch of Mahāyāna Buddhism, primarily developed in Tibet and Mongolia, treats emptiness not just as a philosophical concept, but as an experiential practice. It integrates meditation and esoteric methods to lead practitioners to enlightenment. In Tibetan Buddhism, emptiness is combined with great bliss, Mahāsukha, forming the path to awakening. Practices such as visualization, mantra recitation, and meditation allow practitioners to experience emptiness not merely as an abstract idea, but as a vivid and direct reality. The Vajrayāna. Perspective on emptiness. Vajrayāna inherits the Madhyamaka, middle way, understanding of emptiness, but emphasizes the union of emptiness and bliss. This perspective arises from the view that the ultimate nature of reality is not just voidness, but also filled with creativity, energy, and bliss. In Vajrayāna teachings, emptiness is understood as the fusion of two aspects: emptiness, Śūnyatā, the absence of intrinsic nature, as explained in Madhyamaka; great bliss, Mahāsukha, the boundless bliss experienced upon realizing the ultimate nature of reality. According to Vajrayāna, when a practitioner contemplates emptiness through meditation, they not only perceive the lack of inherent nature in phenomena, but also experience profound bliss. This is expressed through advanced meditation techniques such as Dzogchen, great perfection, and Mahamudra, great seal, where practitioners directly realize the inseparable nature of mind and reality. Vajrayāna practices for realizing emptiness, deity. Yoga meditation. Practitioners visualize themselves as a specific deity, such as Avalokiteshvara or Vajrasattva, merging their consciousness with the wisdom and compassion of that Buddha. Upon realizing that even the deity lacks intrinsic existence, they deepen their understanding of emptiness. Meditation on the letter A. In some Vajrayāna traditions, the letter A symbolizes emptiness. Practitioners meditate on this letter as a reminder that all phenomena lack intrinsic existence. Dzogchen and Mahamudra, meditation. These are advanced meditative techniques in which practitioners abandon conceptual thought and directly experience the true nature of mind, emptiness, inseparable from luminosity. 3. Illustrative examples: the mirror and reflections. Analogy. Vajrayāna uses the image of a mirror to illustrate emptiness. A mirror reflects all images but is unaffected by them. Similarly, our consciousness reflects all experiences, yet its fundamental nature remains empty and unchanging. The magic show analogy. A magician can create illusions that appear real to the audience, but the magician knows they are just tricks. Likewise, a Vajrayāna practitioner understands that all phenomena in this world resemble a magic show, appearing yet lacking true existence. The dream analogy. In Vajrayāna, there is a practice called dream yoga, in which practitioners remain lucid within dreams and recognize that all dream objects lack independent existence. By applying this understanding to waking life, they realize that the external world is also dreamlike, seemingly real but ultimately devoid of intrinsic reality. Practical applications of emptiness in Vajrayāna transforming negative emotions. When practitioners realize that emotions like anger, attachment, and fear have no fixed nature, they can transcend their influence and transform them into wisdom. Using deity visualization to transform perception. By meditating on themselves as a Buddha, practitioners gradually dissolve their ordinary self-view and merge with transcendent wisdom. Directly experiencing liberation in this life. Through meditative insight into emptiness and its union with bliss, Vajrayāna practitioners can attain enlightenment within this very lifetime without waiting for future rebirths. Thus, in Vajrayāna, emptiness is not only a philosophical doctrine, but also the foundation of direct, transformative practices designed to lead to swift and complete enlightenment. Understanding emptiness helps practitioners let go of attachments, live more lightly, and remain unaffected by suffering or desires. When we realize that everything is impermanent and lacks an inherent nature, we can live with a calm and liberated mind. This is the essence of the wisdom of liberation that the Buddha taught. Applications of emptiness in practice. Emptiness is not merely a philosophical concept, but also a crucial method of practice that helps practitioners attain liberation from suffering. Below are some specific applications of emptiness in spiritual practice. Transforming the perception of the self. When one understands that the self, Atman, is merely a collection of conditioned factors, attachment and craving naturally diminish. Realizing that nothing has an intrinsic existence helps practitioners avoid clinging to fame, wealth, or emotions. Reducing suffering and stress. Understanding that all things arise due to conditions and lack inherent existence allows practitioners to free themselves from negative emotions. Example: when facing loss, contemplation of emptiness helps one accept reality more easily by recognizing that nothing is permanent. Approaches to practice. Across different traditions, Theravāda Buddhism, practicing the 4 foundations of mindfulness, satipatthana, and contemplating non-self, anatta, to attain personal liberation, Madhyamaka, Mahāyāna. Deep contemplation of emptiness to dissolve all attachments and attain perfect wisdom, Yogacara, Mahāyāna, viewing reality as a manifestation of consciousness, helping practitioners transcend delusions. Vajrayāna, integrating meditation and visualization to directly experience the unity of emptiness and great bliss. Choosing the right path of practice. If a practitioner seeks a simple method focusing on meditation and ethics, the Theravāda path is suitable. If one wishes to delve into profound philosophy while cultivating great compassion, Madhyamaka and Yogacara are ideal choices. If a practitioner desires a path that combines philosophy with powerful spiritual practices, Vajrayāna offers an effective approach. Thus, emptiness is not just a theoretical concept, but also a profound method of practice that enables practitioners to attain enlightenment and inner peace in this life. Everything in this universe, from towering mountains to your very own mind and body, is merely a temporary convergence of conditions. To understand emptiness is to break free from the illusions of a fixed self, to no longer be bound by suffering and attachment. Emptiness is not an abstract concept, but a key that unlocks the door to freedom, peace, and enlightenment. When you let go of all clinging, you lose nothing. Instead, you gain everything. So, what are you waiting for? Contemplate it, experience it, and let emptiness guide you to the ultimate truth. If you find this topic interesting and meaningful, please leave a comment below, share this video, and hit the subscribe button to support us in creating more exciting content. Thank you, and see you next time.